All right, fam. I don't know how to start this, but what's up, everybody? It's JP. This video is basically just a little bit of an update on my trading journey, and I've gum in my mouth, bro. I'm profesh. And how it's been going. There's been a lot of highs and lows already in the year of 2026, and it's been kind of crazy. I feel like we've already had an entire year in a month. But anyway, this video is just to recap how it's been going, and I'm pretty excited about this year. I feel like this is the year that I'm gonna see the most success in my trading. In April, it'll be 3 years of me trading, so let's just get right into it. The other day, I literally journaled an entire page just talking about what I thought happened in January, what went wrong, what went right, and there was a lot of highs and lows for me. I think one of the hardest things of this month was going through the rush of January. I feel like at every start of the year, there's just kind of this pressure to get your crap together and get everything figured out so that you can get the year going. And I kind of have a lot of things going on outside of trading, and I think that's what makes it so hard every year to set goals for all of the different areas in my life. But I think it also challenges me to stay responsible and stay on top of things. Last year, one of the biggest challenges that I ran into was that I wasn't giving trading enough time or attention or energy. I took a break from trading from May all the way to like October or something along those lines. So I literally took the entire summer and a little bit of the fall off from trading because I just had a lot going on, and I didn't want to add another thing. Trading is already stressful and emotionally taxing, and I was already getting frustrated with my trading, which is not a good place to be. If you're a trader, you know that that is not where you want to be in trading. I took a couple months off. Going into October, November-ish, I really started ramping up again in my discipline and just trading better. I was kind of trading like an idiot towards the early summer. So I was just like, you know what? I need to lock in, fam. So that's exactly what I did. January was really, really good for a couple of reasons. Number one, I really got to define my edge and my strategy. I think I kind of had a strategy already, but I wasn't super disciplined with it. And I didn't have all of the different pieces laid out as to what an A+ setup is. What are the typical market conditions under which my setup actually appears. I wasn't really trading my setup all that much, to be honest. I was just kind of trading emotionally. And for some reason, it's really hard to do. Like, I don't understand why. I know what I'm looking for. I know what I'm supposed to be trading, but I just don't trade it because it doesn't show up. And so instead of just not trading, I force trades, which I think is something that most traders struggle with. I've been getting better at that, just not trading anything that isn't my edge. But that starts by really defining what your edge is supposed to look like. Damn, bro, I'm gripping the hell out of this microphone. Ding, ding. So number one, I defined my strategy a lot better. Number two, I learned how much outside events, anything outside of trading, can actually influence your trading. I had a couple rough situations in the month of January that I'm kind of processing, just emotional stuff, relational stuff with people around me. And that will really knock you off the horse if you're not careful. I realized that I had a really good month in January. Like, I was up like a pretty good amount. And then suddenly a mix of a really bad loss with a bunch of stuff that happened in my personal life, it all kind of jumbled together. And in the last week of January, I pretty much lost all the progress and some that I had made in January. And it was like my best month. I was at a 70% win rate. Average risk to reward was like a 1 to 1.5, but that really just knocked me off the horse. Number three, actually reflecting on my trading. A lot of times as traders, it's just so easy to move on to the next trade and collecting all of this data. But if you don't reflect on the data of what you're trading and how market conditions are and how your psychology has been and what's going on basically in your trading, you're never actually going to learn from your mistakes. I recently started trading on TradingView using Trade-of-8. I've been using the replay feature to backtest the last couple of days of my trading, looking at my trading and just really reflecting on what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. So I feel like that's why this year is going to be so good, is I feel like I have an actual game plan now, which I'm really excited about. That being said, trading is very lonely. So it's really hard sometimes because the only person I'm really accountable to is myself. When you're going through a losing streak or like a really bad patch, it can be hard to zoom out and like look at the situation in a third person perspective because you're so tempted to just be angry or, you know, I feel like I act like a monkey. I don't know, like I'm just not thinking clearly. I'm just like reacting. It's really hard to kind of step out of that while it's happening and say, okay, what's going on? Like, let me chill out. Let me take a couple days off. In January, I took a solo road trip and I listened to Mark Douglas's Trading in the Zone book. In it, he says that the market doesn't owe you anything and you cannot manipulate the market environment to satisfy your needs. And in pretty much every other situation in our lives, if we have a relationship and they hurt us, we can just hurt them back, or we can do something so that we can dispose of that negative energy that they caused us. But in the market does not care about you. The market is going to move on with or without you. Like, there is no emotions. And so when you get hurt by the market, you have to learn to let go and just move on to the next trade. I heard this guy say, you don't have to love losing. You just have to not let losing ruin your entire trading journey and all of the previous progress you've made. But in trading, you have to learn how to act in your your own best interest, because although the stock market does want to take money from you, right? All of these people are just competing to see who can make the most money. At the same time, it offers you an unlimited supply of money for you to just take if you learn how to trade an edge. Disconnecting from the emotions of losing, disconnecting from the emotions of feeling bad or whatever, and like zooming out and just saying, okay, how can I prevent myself from losing more money when I feel like crap, when I take a loss and I'm already going through stuff? That's a big piece that I'm learning, that self-control. So one of my big focuses, my freaking battery died, yo. We're back. Now, one of my favorite Bible verses that I've been reflecting on a lot recently is 2 Timothy 1:7 that says, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power, love, and self-control." Now that has been hitting me like a truck, to be honest, because a lot of the times when I get into these losing streaks in my trading, it's because I'm operating out of fear of losing money, fear of not making it, fear of not being good enough, all of these like internal conversations that I have with myself. But the Bible clearly illustrates that God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of self-control. And so I've been trying to exercise that a lot more recently, and just reading through that daily before I get into the market, just reminding myself I have to have self-control if I'm gonna make it, and just keeping my eyes on the prize. A lot of times we focus as traders on the current situation, the current trade, but we need to learn to zoom out and just focus on the big picture and what we're doing to make sure that that looks the way that we want it to look. So for my trading in February, I'm focused on a couple of main things. Number one, sticking to the simple, boring strategies that I have been learning / have already learned. There's like 2 strategies that I literally trade every single day, whether that's a break and retest of the overnight high or low, or a break and retest of the 15-minute orb. I trade mostly micro ES. I've never really traded anything else. Apparently that's what works. Simple, boring, repeatable stuff. Number 2, preventing a huge loss by any means. The 3 outcomes that I'm trying to accomplish are small wins, small losses, and big wins only. No big losses this month. That's my goal. Number 3, keeping myself in check and trading reasonable size, about 10 to 15 contracts on MES. Number 4, journaling every single trade. I've been getting lazy at this, I'm not gonna lie, and so I really want to do better about journaling every trade. I've been learning how to trade on TradingView and like how to actually mark all the stuff out and trade on the chart. It's a little bit different from what I had on Project X when I was trading with Alpha Futures. Nonetheless, journaling every single trade, at least how I felt and why I took the trade, why I got out of the trade, etc., etc. Number 5, keeping Jesus at the center of my trading. Read the shirt, I heart Jesus. Praying every morning and making sure to make intentional time with God before I enter into the markets. I feel like that's the only way that I enter with the right mindset and just kind of recenter myself, realign myself. And then number 6, past the 50K Apex eval. Pretty simple. Those are my goals for February. That is all for this video. Make sure you guys follow or subscribe if you guys would like to see more content like this. I am just a 23-year-old trying to figure out this day trading situation, and I'm trying to document the raw and real process of day trading. It's probably the hardest thing that I've ever done. I'm mostly just doing this to track my progress because I want to make sure that I'm actually getting better, and I want to look on this 10 years from now and say, hey, I documented that. I never know how to end these videos. It's like so awkward. Anyway, all right.